When it comes to brutality and indiscipline, football's your go-to place. Sure, you have match officials who are there to uphold the law, but then again, the human mind can be a very complicated place to be, which compels us to do the sort of things on the pitch that don't have a place in the game. The 1998 World Cup was supposed to be the start of something brilliant for David Beckham. England fans loved him, but in the round of 16 clash against Argentina, he became the most hated person in the country after he kicked out at Diego Simeone after being fouled. A straight red card pretty much ended England's journey, and 10 brave lions, one stupid boy became a famous term to describe the English midfielder for the foreseeable future. Another World Cup, another red card, as seen in a game between Australia and Croatia in the 2006 edition. Graham Poll gave Josip Simunik 3 yellow cards before sending him off. Normally it's 2 yellow cards and you're out. And you have to say that the Croatian was also hell-bent on earning a red card, so made sure that Poll eventually took one out. World Cups provide all the drama, don't they? In the 2010 World Cup quarterfinal against Ghana, Luis Suarez showed that he would go to extreme lengths to help his team. And no, he didn't bite someone this time. With the game level at 1-1, a Dominic Adia header was goal-bound. Suarez, though, was not having any of it and stopped the ball with his hands. He got a red card, and Asamoah Gyan took the penalty, which he missed. We always knew that Shawcross was a tough tackling centre-back and never took any prisoners. However, during a game against Arsenal, the Stoke man went a little too far because his horrific tackle broke Aaron Ramsey's leg in 2 places. The young midfielder was in agony, and Shawcross was visibly distraught. Sticking with Arsenal, it seems their players are always on the receiving end of a horrible tackle. In a game against Birmingham, Eduardo, Arsenal's latest rising star, was on the wrong end of a nasty challenge from Martin Taylor, which resulted in the young striker breaking his leg. Taylor was sent off for the horrendous challenge, but Eduardo was never the same again. Steven Gerrard is no doubt one of the best midfielders to grace the Premier League. He could do everything from scoring screamers to winning games all by himself. However, United fans will remember the game in 2015 when Gerrard was brought on at half-time, only to see red 38 seconds later after a nasty double challenge on Mata and Herrera. A cruel way to bow out of your last match against your biggest rivals. Former Real Madrid fullback Marcelo had to leave the pitch in tears after his tackle broke an opponent's leg in a Copa Libertadores encounter. As young Luciano Sanchez was attempting a dribble, Marcelo planted his foot on the player's leg, which resulted in the player's knee giving way. Truly horrific. We know that Son Heung-min isn't a tough tackling player, but his ability to get the ball cleanly is not that great. In a game against Everton, the Spurs star went for the ball as Andre Gomez was sliding away from him. However, Son mistimed his tackle, and in the follow-through, he ended up breaking his opponent's ankle. The Korean was in tears and received a red card. Thankfully, Gomez made a full recovery and returned to the field 3 months later. We all love Chris Kamara as a pundit, but in 1989, the former Stoke man was a thug who was booed wherever the Premier League took him. In a league game against West Ham, Kamara's high lunge from behind broke Frank McAvenny's leg. He was duly sent off for this tackle, and the player himself said that he would sue the player who put him out of commission for almost a year. Now, this is one you don't see enough of: teammates fighting. In a Turkish league game, Galatasaray man Markau was given his marching orders after he headbutted and then punched his teammate Kerem Aktagolu. The two had to be separated and the Brazilian was banned for 10 games. Similarly, in the Premier League, Lee Boyer and Kieran Dyer fancied a scrap in the middle of the pitch. During a game against Aston Villa, the 2 Newcastle players were seen exchanging words before coming to blows. It was a surreal situation, and even the Villa players were trying to break up the fight. At least the referee sent them both for an early shower. How do you exact your revenge if you're Roy Keane? You plan for months how you're gonna injure your enemy's career. That's exactly what the Manchester United midfielder did after Inge Haaland thought that Keane was faking an injury in a derby in 1997. When the two met again a year or so later, Keane was ready. The moment Haaland was in a vulnerable spot, the United legend cut Haaland in half. There was never an intention to win the ball. It was all about putting the midfielder out for good. Keane received a red card and a fine, and we're certain that he still doesn't feel bad about it. We all know that Pepe is an animal, and some of his actions deserve a place behind bars. The Portugal international has been shown the red card many times, but no offense will ever come close to how he kept kicking an opponent when he was down. Thankfully, he was given a red card and banned for a few games. And who remembers that horrendous tackle by Virgil van Dijk on Dries Mertens during a game between Liverpool and Napoli? Virgil earned himself a straight red card, and you have to say that the Dutchman can be a little too enthusiastic at times. And then you have that Thomas Partey tackle on Fabinho, where he planted his foot on the player's ankle. Wow! That was a bad one and deserved more than just a red card. But regardless of how many red cards we talk about, nothing will ever beat Zidane's red card during the 2006 World Cup final between France and Italy. The French were flying, but then Marco Materazzi decided to abuse the tournament's best player, calling Zidane a whole bunch of things. The Frenchman could have kept his cool, but decided to headbutt the Italian defender, who fell as if he was wounded by a bullet. Zizou was shown red, and how he walked past the World Cup trophy became one of the most iconic yet harrowing images in the game's history. So guys, these were some of the craziest red cards we've seen. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.